Welcome to UAPB Currents. I'm your host, Shelly Roby Ingram, and today joining us we have Dr. Kaye Crippen, who is an associate professor in the Human Sciences area, Merchandising, Textiles, and Design program here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Welcome to UAPB Currents.
Thank you.
All right. Now, to get started, I guess, well, let's talk about the Merchandising, Textiles, and Design program here at the university.
Many people ask us, do we have a fashion program? And we say, yes, definitely. The last couple of years, we've been working on accreditation for our program in Human Sciences, our department, which we have just been awarded through the AAFCS. And we had been updating both the curriculum and the laboratories. Now we're reaching out more to the community and being more involved. And merchandising, textiles, and design includes a little more than fashion, but fashion is often the draw that students want to come in. We call it the Project Runway effect. So we have good advertisers out there for our program.
Okay, all right. Now let's talk a little bit about the faculty in the Textiles and Design, Merchandising, Textiles and Design program.
We have, there's two of us, and we both have industry experience, which we feel is really a strength for the program. We think that's our strongest suit because so many programs have people who have been professors all of their lives and have not worked throughout the supply chain or have had the international experience that, you know, most of your garments and products are no longer made in the U.S. And so having that supply chain across from fiber through to the end product and retailing is really an important asset. And also I think we feel that we have a really good understanding of how competitive the industry is. There are many jobs out there, but it's also very competitive by nature.
Well, tell us a little bit about your experience in the design industry or in fashion.
Well, I started out in retailing. I had a double major, and women were not hired in textile industry when I got out, and the chemical fiber companies were not found by the government until the late 70s, and so I waited 12 years. So I started in retailing, went to graduate school, and then I became a professor. So I've gone back and forth and had a varied career. I worked at DuPont, starting out as a research chemist. They were the leading fiber producer, but I worked then a lot with manufacturers and designers in some of my marketing jobs. And then I went to Asia for 10 years and taught and worked and did consulting. So what I have found is this industry has a large number of positions, and many times people in my generation just had one job and then they stuck with it. But for many reasons I was lucky to keep entertaining myself and jumping around, and today that's what we see. Students will have that type of career path where they start out in one area, find something, or they create a new job, they become entrepreneurs or whatever. But the days of having one job for your entire life is pretty much over. So we're training students to understand how to enter the industry and then how to progress through other positions in the industry.
All right, and your associate professor who is in the department, tell us a little bit about those who may not be familiar with the Merchandising, Textiles, and Design department and do not know Ms. Turner.
Ms. Turner has a strong design art background, and she was a UAPB undergrad, then went to Menominee, Wisconsin for her master's, and then she went to art school and learned a lot about design techniques. And she has just recently revamped her design studios, and now she's working on the media room, and where they'll do pattern grading using the industry standard machine. But we have all industrial production equipment there, and then students get a real-life experience.
Okay. All right. Now tell us a little bit about some of the renovations and changes that have been taking place over in the department.
We put a lot of effort getting ready for our accreditation visit last year, and Ms. Turner and I came in the fall of '09, and our friend, Dr. Godfrey, who had been in the program for a while, had been teaching quite a few of those courses. And so we've been updating and renovating all of the facilities, as well as updating curriculum. We've added new content, and then the laboratories as well. We had a textile lab, but we've been renovating that, and now we have 4 labs and studios that the students can use, all on the 2nd floor of the Adair Greenhouse building. And I should mention that we do welcome visitors. We have a Facebook page, and we also have a school Facebook page. The school is SOF's School of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Human Sciences, which is our department. But we're posting our presentations and speakers that we're having in our speaker series here on those Facebook pages.
Okay.
And we're hoping to involve the community more, and we always welcome people who are potential students or who want to see our facilities. And they could probably easily call the 870-575, either me at 8367 or our department administration at 8806. And they can arrange to come and see our facilities, because we get a lot of young students who are really interested in fashion, and we're hoping to reach out more to them in the future.
Okay.
Because some young people really have a strong idea that they want to be in the fashion industry.
All right. Now, what are some of the things before we go to break that you can expect to see in the department? I know you said you have a few labs. What types of labs do you all have over in the department?
Well, in our department, we have both food science, quantity food, which is restaurant management, and child facilities. And then within our merchandising, textiles, and design, which we affectionately call MTD, we have a textile environmental chamber, which is the only one in the state, and it controls the conditions in the lab. So when we test, we get accurate data that we can publish, and we can do testing for other companies. And we tear fabrics apart. We also deconstruct, like your backdrop here, which is a bleach-out fabric. So we actually...
Which we didn't know. We didn't know that was a
that you just take bleach and put on a fabric and scrunch it, and you can make deconstructed denim or any type of fabric. And that's something that students really like to do. And when we have groups come through, we do that, or we do Kool-Aid dyeing. So we try to get them all in the hands-on things. But our actual lab has tensile strength machines. We have abrasion machines. We're getting moisture management machines that relate to comfort. And then we have a teaching lab, and Ms. Turner has her production lab set up like a factory. And you have cutting tables, and then you have a bank of industrial sewing machines.
Okay. All right. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about your pride and joy, your students here at the university, okay?
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back on UAPB Current.
Oh, sweetheart. Gonna give you a hand?
No thanks, Dad. I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna go fix the lamp in your room.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
That's low, that's low, that's low.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextstoprex.org.
welcome back to UAPB Currents, and again we're joined by Dr. Kaye Crippen, who is an associate professor in the Merchandising, Textiles, and Design program here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And before we left for break, we talked about the department. Now we're going to take an opportunity to talk about some of the courses and curriculum that the program offers and what your students are doing. So let's start off with talking about what student who's wants to major in merchandising, textiles, and design, what they can expect from the curriculum, the department.
Well, our curriculum is basically broken down into those three areas, and they take some from each area. So we have an introductory course that looks at design principles as related to fashion. And then we have a basic textiles class, an intro to the fashion industry class, which really goes over the entire fashion industry. And when we say fashion, you know, interior textiles, even automotive, et cetera, are included in those.
Okay.
And then we have beginning and advanced apparel design. That's where they learn their technical skills, their flat pattern, their draping. They actually have the mannequins where they drape and work directly on those, and we're encouraging the students to enter competitions.
Okay.
And then in our, we have an advanced textiles. But one of the courses I'm excited about is our globalization course. I think we've only offered it a few times. And since the apparel industry and fashion industry is so global, your fibers are now made in China or India, and then the fabric is often made there. Some of it stays there and gets made to an end product and shipped to the U.S. or wherever, or goes to South America for production, or Central America, Mexico. So it's a complex business. So that globalization factor. We also have fashion illustration. We have a visual merchandising, which also includes the fashion buying aspect, how you do the markups and how you do inventory assortments. So it's a very general, broad-based program that gives students a good foundation to go into many different directions.
Okay. Now, with, I guess, the curriculum being so broad, so many things that, you know, that a student can do in so many areas that they can go into, because I never even thought about automotive fabrics being a part of a fashion, you know, course. I think probably when most people do think about your program, like you said, they do think of that Project Runway aspect. They think of people designing clothes and dressing stars and knowing about clothes. Those are the things that they think about, but they don't think about the fabrics and like you said, the chemist parts of it and all of those things. So tell us a little bit about what some of your students have been doing and the different areas they've been going into.
We've had students going into a fairly wide range of areas, and also several of them are going on to graduate school. There is a mandatory internship program in our department that's 6 hours of credit, and that's where they many times find out, yes, I like retailing, or I like this and not that. And this summer I had one who was working on the fashion program in the Chicago area, and she decided she wanted to work with younger children, and her focus had been more on design or retailing. So many times people get into an internship and then they really decide they want to take a different direction, which is a great time to do it. And we always encourage them to really start working as soon as they can to get, you know, retail experience. Everything revolves around that retail portion. And so the more experiences you get, the better understanding you have of what's out there, as well as what you like and what you don't like.
Okay. And what type of internships, I guess, would you like for your students to be able to get, and what's the I guess the realistic part about that, about them? How easy is it for them to get internships where they're actually working in labs at companies or working with designers and those types of things?
We have one student right now doing not a formal internship, but she's working with a designer in Little Rock, and she found it on her own, and she's getting really good understanding of why it's so important that we do certain things in classes.
Right.
But the other thing, in Pine Bluff, we have worked with local partners as well as in Little Rock, and then we've had students before I came who actually, a couple went to Australia, and she's now at Penny's up in Bentonville, and not Penny's, Walmart is up in Bentonville, and we've had students, we've tried to partner with Penny's, but they did not take any interns. We've had strong local partners. The Arts and Science Center, Dr. Schultz, was actually formerly a costumer. So one of our students worked in costume development this summer and did a display. And right now we have a student window that's finalizing today that features another student's designs. And this was part of a downtown revitalization program. I don't have the exact name of that program, but the student had to go ahead and design the window, get the signage, and it's a process. And during that particular, those 2 or 3 interns we've had down there, we've had dialogues. For example, one who designed the costumes for Hairspray and did the Hairspray window, she was dealing with the director of the Arts and Science Center, myself, as well as the director of the play. And many of the students haven't been used to having to do things quickly and respond. They do their assignments when they choose to, but it gives them a really good real life experience. And those were a couple of great local internships. Some of our students can't go to other locations. And when Dime One was here, he gave them really good realistic work experience. And then several have done Little Rock Fashion Week, and we had Mr. Campbell at UAPB a couple of times, and I know that's on the YouTube UAPB channel now. And they get a real good idea of the pace of the industry. He has different types of slots for students. They get to give him an idea of what they would like to work in. And many times students don't realize that as an intern, you start at the bottom. And that's a shock to some people. They think, oh, you know, I've been to school, now I'm ready to go out. And his quote that I just loved was, you know, absorb what you can while you're here at the university, because that will reflect on what you do when you get out. And that some people just think they can turn it on, like, oh, when I get to New York, I'll just really shine, and I'll just slide through maybe while I'm in uni. But it really pays to engage and get any kind of experience. It doesn't matter if it's here in Pine Bluff, Little Rock, or New York. But the key to that is starting early. You need to start getting those internship letters out, getting your resume, getting your portfolio if needed, and also, in addition to social media, networking at professional organizations and anything that you can, anywhere you can.
Okay. All right, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about career opportunities in the merchandise and textiles and design field. And I know you wanted to talk about some of those entry-level jobs and careers that students should be looking for. Okay? All right, so we'll be right back on UAPB Current.
My mama always said, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get.
Lions, tigers, bears, oh my!
I am Spartacus.
You had me at hello. You had me at hello.
I could have been a contender.
You can't handle the truth.
E.T. on home.
Tenne mite gattio kako.
Mite gatto.
See where the good goes at goodgoes.org.
Welcome back to UAPB Currents, and again we're joined by Dr. Kaye Crippen, who is an associate professor in the Merchandising, Textiles, and Design program here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And now on to the fun part, all of the career opportunities and things that people majoring in merchandising, textiles, and design can go into. And for those students who may be out there who are younger, who haven't yet gone to college, who may be thinking about a specific type of career that they want to go into, but may not realize that that job is actually a merchandising, textiles, or design job or career. So tell us a little bit about some of the different areas of work that you can go into in this major.
We'll start with the M for merchandising,
okay.
I think. And in merchandising, students often work in department stores, retail, or even wholesalers or online companies, and they present the merchandise, get it ready to show in windows, and do promotions and marketing. So that has a strong appeal, and in those jobs, a strong business background or art and visual is also recommended. And the entry-level jobs in some of the merchandising areas do not pay as much as in other areas. Also, under merchandising, you can put the retail management, which would be the buying or store management side of it. And then in the design, I'm skipping to D. The design part could be product design at a retailer. And it could be working for any type of company that designs something that has a textile in it. As I mentioned, the automotive, also medical textiles, people design, and so there's many, many different types of design elements, including surface design on textiles. So we provide a strong base, and then some of the students go on to graduate school when they want to do more specialized careers. But again, it's good to get that entry-level experience. And then T for textiles, I don't want to forget my favorite area, is either working as a research chemist. I have had a few who really did excel in textiles, and one of them's just getting ready to go to she is in graduate school, but she's going to go directly and work on her doctorate. So we have a wide range of interests. In textiles, working for companies that either develop products. Green chemistry is a big area of textiles now, and we have a strong sustainability focus in our program. Also, the promotion of textiles, the marketing, the sale of textiles is picking up a little bit more again in the U.S. Also, Cotton Inc. or Cotton Incorporated here in the U.S. hires quite a few people in the fiber and textile. There's a USDA cotton classing lab over in Dumas. We've had students visit that, and I've encouraged several of them to look into that as careers. So there are so many different careers that the best thing is to get a good entry-level position, get out there, make friends, soak up all you can, and then find, you know, your path in the industry or in education.
All right, okay, and that's an aspect as well, I guess, that we didn't discuss going into education. So how important, I guess, is it for students to go into, like you said, a specialized program after their undergraduate studies to, I guess, get more experience with the program, and where are some of the places that students often go, the schools that students often go to for different types of programs?
Well, as the industry has gotten more specialized, and again, it's really a technical industry, even from manufacturing garments to textile technology, which has a lot of nanotechnology and chemistry science in it. So students often, if they want to go into something technical, go directly to graduate school. And we've got one who's doing social psychological aspects of dress which we have a course on that as well. Cultural aspects.
Now, what is that?
Of fashion, why people dress, why they choose what they do. We look at cultures, different cultures, and how people dress and how they've used dress to influence other people, and status markers, the fur coat in Pine Bluff versus the Arctic, you know, what does it mean?
Right.
And so one of them is just finishing up at Iowa State in that area, which they have a strong program in. And I believe she's going to come into teaching.
Okay.
But I've had a number of students who do want to become professors, which I'm excited about, because when I taught at Cal State LA, I had quite a diverse group of students who went to get PhDs. And there's a lack of there's a lack of non-traditional people in the industry, so we want more diversity in both teaching as well as industry. And I think there's a lot of opportunities for students. I used to always encourage them to go get some industry experience first, but as the job market has tightened, if they really know they want to work on a PhD, more of them are opting to do that. And several schools have diversity programs, and if they fit into that, for example, NC State, North Carolina State University has the largest textile college, and they also do design. And he came and spoke to our students, and we're trying to send students there to graduate school. Iowa State has a diversity program. They let students come on campus, and they pay for those trips, and then they give them really great scholarships. And so we have about 2 or 3 now who are looking at going to Iowa State. So I like to develop relationships, and then students help one another. And actually, we've had some students, former students, come back and speak with our students, and the students really ask them more questions than they'll ask us about what it's like to go get your first job. But to summarize, we do encourage them to get the best intern, best job they can. Status does matter in some cases. So if they want to go work for a Penny's or a Walmart that has a certain industry status, you know, try. And I think the idea of rejection sometimes inhibits people's ability to really think big or think broad and really go through it. And it does take a lot of time. You have to have a plan for internship search, a plan for job search, and you have to have, as some people say, the perfect resume. We have them do portfolios, and they have a chance to visually show what they can do.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to, that's the end of the show. We've talked about this, but I know we're going to have the opportunity to do some shows on some textiles and some things that you all have going on in the department, and we'll continue to follow you through your speaking series so that we can get information out to the public and to the students and the community about what's going on in the Merchandising, Textiles, and Design program.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for coming. And we will see you guys next time on UAPB Currents.